If all goes as scheduled, the crew of Apollo 14 will view this sight as they skim over mountainous craters preparing to land in the foothills of the moon's rugged Fra Mauro region. Astronaut Alan B. Shepard is commander of the planned 9-day mission.
Now, we plan to be on the lunar surface for a period of about a day and a half, during which time we will make 2 separate excursions outside the vehicle. The first is concerned primarily with the setting up of experiments similar to those in the previous flights, seismographs, solar ray measuring devices, laser beam reflectors, and these sort of things. The latter part of that first excursion will be taking some samples of the lunar surface, and then after a brief rest period, an overnight stay in our hammocks in the lunar module, then we'll go back out again on an excursion which is almost entirely devoted to the collecting of geological samples and geological surveys. Now, we're going to a decidedly unique area, and we feel, therefore, this number 2 excursion will be a very important one. The length of each excursion will be approximately 4.5 to 5 hours.
With Shepard, astronaut Edgar D. Mitchell. Here he describes an equipment-carrying rickshaw to be used for the first time on this flight.
Transporter. As it has evolved over the last two missions, that we need more and more equipment on the lunar surface to do the type of scientific exploration that the scientists want. We started out with this little portion right here called a hand tool carrier. Well, it was quite obvious very soon that we couldn't carry enough equipment that way. Also, we had our hands tied up while we were carrying that piece of equipment. And so for Apollo 14, the modular equipment transporter, nicknamed the MET, was invented, and we have put the hand tool carrier on the MET, and in addition we have added many other pieces of equipment which we can now carry.
Piloting the command module to within 9 miles of the lunar surface, astronaut Stuart A. Roosa.
Now on 11 and 12, the command service module stayed in 60-mile orbit, and the LEM had to use its gas to burn down to this 60 by 9-mile orbit. So the purpose of using the engine on the service module for this is to save propellants in the LEM to increase the hover time. And particularly in the Fra Mauro area, it's by far the most rugged landing site that we've tried so far. And by using propellants out of the command service module, it gives the LEM this additional 7 to 8 seconds of hover time, which may sound small, but is quite significant when you're down among the rocks.
Asked about the big Saturn V and this his first flight, astronaut Russo made these comments.
Well, it's a mighty impressive sight to see the big stack move out. I'd say certainly I'm ready to go. We'll be well prepared, well trained, and we've had several crews brief us on what it's like and the vibrations and so forth. But I think probably the actual launch has got to be a new thing and exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Apollo 14, readying now for this country's 3rd manned lunar landing.